Hello there everyone, my name is Crazy Caleb, and this briefcase that you will immediately see on the module is Skewers. And when you hover over it at any given point, it will obviously open up as you can see here. And what we have here is we have a series of 16 different colored diamonds that will be present on the module. Now, this will be using RGB additive coloring, which can be represented here. In this case, it's going to be using this chart. Red, green, blue are our primary colors. I've said this one before. We've got red and green make yellow, red and blue make magenta, green and blue make cyan, and we've got all three of them together make white, and none of them being present makes black. So that's what we're looking at here. And what we're going to do here is we're going to try and figure out what we're supposed to do with this module. So let's do this. So this module displays a 4x4 grid of colored diamonds inside an open suitcase. And once a diamond has been selected, the suitcase will close. Five swords, each 3 spaces long, will enter the suitcase from predetermined locations on the suitcase's sides. And if a sword passes through the selected diamond, the module will strike and the grid will reset its colors. And if the selected diamond is safe, the module will solve, and there may be multiple safe spaces. It's very likely for this to happen, but we're going to have a series of 5 different swords that will be appearing on the module here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take a look at this. We need to figure out how exactly we're going to be taking a look at locating these swords by using this grid here, and a series of different rules we're going to be following here. Now, one thing that's very important to note down is this module is noted for being a solve-dependent module, and that's specifically for this sword right here, sword number 2. You can determine all of the rest of the swords throughout the rest of this module here, based off of some basic edgework rules that we have to apply here. But this is the one that will always be changing, and this is what this module is a little bit special about, because there is the add together the number of solved modules present. So let's get right into this then. So first things first, the one thing that we're going to want to note down is our serial number. This is very important for us to note down. The rest of the stuff, we only need the quantity of it. So 7, uniform, 0, Mike, November, and 3. Okay, let's take a look here. So now for our first sword, we're going to start at the position on the outside of the grid equal to the last digit of the serial number. Now, if you take a look at what's actually around in these characters here, these are all essentially base 16 characters, 0 to Foxtrot in this case. Because what happens here is this is going to be looking something like this. We obviously have the range of 0 through 9, and then afterwards what we're going to have is we're going to have A represents 10, B represents 11, C represents 12, D represents 13, E represents 14, and Foxtrot represents 15. In this case, 16 different characters. So this is what we're going to be looking at here, and this is going to be the way that this works, because there's going to be a lot of these rules that we have to convert to hexadecimal is what it's called. So let's get right into this. So we're going to start at the position on the outside of the grid equal to the last digit of the serial number, in this case 3. And then we're going to take the first digit of the serial number and move counterclockwise around the grid that many times. So we're going to move counterclockwise 7 times because this is the first digit in the serial number. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over to the 7 here. And just like that, that is going to be our first position of the sword. And the way that the sword is going to come in is going to come in from the right here, and it's going to go left. And remember, it is 3 spaces long. So what's going to happen here is the sword will hit here, here, and here. And that's what we're going to want to avoid. But we're going to focus on the inside of the grid later on. All we simply need to note down is where these swords will be coming in from. That's all we care about here. Now, for sword number 2, this is the special case. We're going to add together the number of solved modules, batteries, and indicators. So that's pretty straightforward. So solved modules, obviously, as we can tell, 0, because we don't have any other modules that are present on the bum. The number of batteries, in this case, is going to be 2, as we can see here. So we already have 2. And the number of indicators that we have, which in this case is simply going to be 0. So this is going to be simply 2. We're going to modulo this result by 16 and convert the result into hexadecimal and locate the position. Well, 2 in hexadecimal is simply just 2, so this is only going to be 2 right here. And just like that, our second sword has been determined. Now, this is where the thing gets a little bit interesting, and this is where we actually start to focus on the module itself. We're going to take the number of diamonds in the displayed grid that contain the primary color shown in the same position in the table above. Now, at this point, I'm not going to teach you, I've already taught you guys how the RGB additive coloring works. At this point, I don't really need to go into too much detail about this. I will kind of have this as like in the background. I'll open up a link to this tab here. But otherwise, I don't really need to go over the RGB arithmetic, the RGB additive coloring here. I hope you guys can understand how this works, but essentially what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be paying attention to the diamonds in the displayed grid that contain the same primary color, which in this case is red, green, and blue, in this exact same position. So now green is present in white, so this is going to be true. Blue is present in blue. Red is not present in this blue here, so that's not going to be true. Green is not present in blue. Red is not present in green. Red is present in white, that's true. Yellow is not present in blue. It's the one that's actually missing, because red and green are the two primary colors that make yellow. Then we have green by itself, obviously, that's true. Red is present in white. Green is present in cyan, as we can see right here. It is indeed, it is one of the components that makes the secondary color here. Red is not present in black. In fact, none of them are. Blue is not present in green. Blue is not present in yellow. Red is present in magenta. Blue is not present in yellow, and green is present in green. And now we're going to count these up and convert this into an hexadecimal. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And this is going to give us a total of 8. This is going to be our result for our third sort here. We're going to convert the hexadecimal to locate the position. Next up, we're going to subtract the number of diamonds in the displayed grid whose exact color is shown in the same position in the table below. Note that we're not using specifically the primary colors anymore. We need to pay attention to the exact, and we're going to be doing this a little bit differently too. So we have blue that matches, we have green that matches, we have, I believe it's just going to be that other green that matches. So we have 3 colors that exactly match. And now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract this from 16. So we're going to do 16 minus the 3 is going to be 13. And now, the way that we want to convert this into a letter consistently is we want to subtract 9 from this, and we want to take the alphabetic position of this letter. So in this case, delta. This is going to be our 4th sword. Very nice. So now we're at the last one here, and the last one is quite simple. We're going to take the 4th character of the serial number and, if necessary, subtract 6 from its alphabetic position until it falls into the range of A through F. So let's take a look here. So we have Mike present, which in this case we can simply just take as 13. We're going to subtract 6 from this. It does fall into the range of alpha here, so this is going to be where we're going to start. Alpha is going to be our starting point here. Start at this position on the outside of the grid. And we're going to take the alphabetical position of the 5th character in the serial number plus 9 and move counterclockwise around the grid this many times. And this is our last position. So we're going to take the alphabetical position of the 5th character, in this case November, adding 9 to this. So 14 plus the 9 is going to be 23. And we're going to move counterclockwise this many spaces. However, one thing that we can actually do to make our lives a little bit easier here is we can simply realize that, hey, this module has a total of 16 spaces, so we actually can just modulo this by 16. Simple as that. And all we simply have to do now is we simply have to count 7 times counterclockwise. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it lands on an 8. And what happens if we happen to get the exact same position? Well, if we take a look here, if at any point a sword's calculated position is in the same as a previous sword, we're going to move clockwise around the edge until an unused space is found. So in this example, we're going to go to the 5, and this is going to be our final sword position. So now, if we take a look here at the module, and remember that each of these swords are 3 spaces long, what's going to happen here is we're going to have a sword coming in from here, the 2. We're going to have a sword coming in from the 7. And we're going to have a sword coming in from all 3 of these columns from the bottom here. So we've got you, and you. So now these are going to be the 4 free spaces that we have here. We can click any one of these. The briefcase will close and the swords will come in. And hopefully at the end of that point here, we are able to be saved. So let's hit this guy. Let's hit the top right just for safekeeping. And now the briefcase will close. The swords will indeed come in the exact positions as we planned for them. And just like that is a solved module. And as you can see, the swords are in the exact same position as we expected them all to be. And just like that, we were able to solve this module. Let's go over one final example, because I want to make sure I get this stuff explained well. It's a fairly simple module to do, and I'm going to go through this one a little bit faster, because it's really not that hard to understand. It's just finding correct positions. So let's take a look. Yeah. Okay. I love the module. Let's get this thing going. All right. So first things first, we're gonna start the we're gonna get our serial number first. We need to get the serial number. So wow. Okay. Tango 00. Uniform Alpha 6. This is gonna be a nice one. So starting position on the outside of the grid equals to the last digit of the serial number 6. And we're going to take the first digit of the serial number and move counterclockwise that around the grid that many times. In this case, that is 0. So we're simply going to stay in this exact same position. Perfect. Next up, add together the number of solved modules. We have 0 currently right now. The batteries, we have 0 of those as well. But indicators, we have quite a few of them. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So this is going to be a 4. Represented in hexadecimal is going to be 4. So that's going to be right here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do there. So 6 and 4. Okay, these are our first two swords determined. And now let's focus on the diamonds here. So now our first condition that we're going to focus on is the primary colors. Are they present in the gems that are currently on display and in the table as well? So we do have green present. Blue is not present in yellow. No. Red is present in magenta. Blue is present in blue. Nope. Nope. Green is present in whites. I'm going to highlight the whites immediately. Red is present in magenta. No black. No black. Nope, and nope. Okay, so now we have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that have primary colors that are shared within the these diamonds here. So that was 6. So this is going to be now subtracting. So this is going to be finding the position with equal to that location in hexadecimal. 6 has already been used, so we're going to go clockwise to the next available position. In this case, 2. Okay. Next up, subtract the number of diamonds in the display grid whose exact color is shown in the same position. Let's find out. And immediately, one of the things that we can actually focus on is we actually can only focus on the primary colors. Secondary colors are not actually in this table at all, so we don't have to actually worry about any of the secondary colors present. So we can only focus on green, blue here. As far as I remember, those are the only two I think that apply here. Yeah, okay. So now 2, we're going to subtract this from 16. So 16 minus the 2 is going to be 14, minus the 9. And we take the alphabetic position of this letter, which in this case is Echo. Echo is going to be our 4th one. And finally, for this last little bit here, we're going to take the 4th character of the serial number, which is a uniform, 21. We're going to modulo U by 6, which is going to give us a 3. And now we're going to start at the position outside of this grid. In this case, we're going to start at the letter Charlie. The letter Charlie, not 3, Charlie, because we're looking at the letter here. And we're going to take the alphabetic position of the 5th character, which in this case is Alpha. That's going to be 1. Plus 9, so 1 plus 9 is going to be 10, and we're going to move counterclockwise around that grid that many times. So starting from Charlie, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and also we can simply just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 clockwise in order to get us to that position. And just like that, we have found the position of all 5 of our swords. Let's highlight the positions of which these guys are going to be coming out at. And we have quite a few options that we can choose from. We can choose any one in the left column, in the right column rather, and we should be able to solve this module. Perfect, the swords come in exactly where we expected them to, and just like that, the briefcase closes, and just like that is a solved module. As always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to stay crazy, stay cool, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.